There's no gig in music like the Super Bowl halftime show, and if you ever get the opportunity, you have 15 minutes to justify your legend with 150 million people watching your every move, most of whom, I may add, are just distracted by the nacho platter in front of them or how many drinks they have in the fridge to get them through the rest of the game. Either way, you have one chance to not blow your luck and end up cancelled. Hi, I'm Stacey Taylor, and today I'm counting down the top 10 celebrities cancelled after the Super Bowl halftime show part 2. So which performances did you hate the most, and let us know in the comments below. Starting off our list today at number 10, we have Rihanna. 2023 was the most watched Super Bowl broadcasted in the United States thanks to Rihanna. Like really, at the end of the day, Rihanna's concert was interrupted by a football game, which was weird. What was honestly a truly outstanding performance by a woman who is pregnant with her second child would soon be met with controversy, as millions of viewers have dived into a debate to label her performance as one of the worst Super Bowl performances of our time because she didn't sing songs people wanted her to sing, she didn't do a big flashy show, and now people are even accusing the star of lip syncing. However, to shut all you haters down, Rihanna hasn't performed solo and live since 2016, and despite this, she didn't miss a beat as she cycled through some of her biggest hits. Not to mention, when she announced she was pregnant while holding her belly during the show, she made a powerful statement for women all around the world, and it's impressive. Number 9, the Black Eyed Peas. Out of all the performances to happen at the Super Bowl, the Black Eyed Peas had to have one of the worst performances of all time. If you tuned to watch their performance back in 2011, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, because there was nothing cool or magical about their set. The only thing that was actually really interesting about their performance was their light up robot suits, duh. The worst part about their performance though had to be their version of "I've Had the Time of My Life." Not only was their entire show uninspiring and boring, they sang so badly, lovelessly, and they secured themselves extra negative points when Fergie butchered "Sweet Child of Mine" with Slash. Not to mention, they sounded offbeat and they all looked like they really didn't want to be there. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming number 8, we have Phil Collins. For the Millennium Celebration in 2000, there was a really big Disney production, and it was pretty reminiscent of an amusement park mixed with an orchestra and a circus. But that's what happens when you book 5 big celebrities of different genres to perform the same halftime show. Admittedly, it was such a bizarre spectacle with Disney written all over it. Not only did the artist's performance come off as undeniably cheesy, it also wasn't executed well. Not to mention, with none of the songs really mashing well together, when Phil Collins came up to the stage to perform, he legit wore sweatpants and a hat, which kinda gave off the impression that he didn't want to be there, and he knew mixing 5 artists together was such a bad idea that he just opted to not even try. Which is not the point of the Super Bowl, as if you get invited to perform, you need to make a big impression, and that's just not what we got with anybody's performance, especially Phil's love theme from Tarzan. Number 7, The Who. The Who took over the halftime show in February of 2010. The pioneers and all-time heroes of stadium rock at the time had been around for 46 years since the band was founded. Unfortunately, the spectators and listeners at the Super Bowl in Miami that year quickly realized that the rock veterans Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey, unlike Stones and Paul McCartney, had long since left the musical league. And because of this, the sound was lousy and the music and vocals were not at least very well synchronized. They just didn't understand the high visibility, high stakes, and nature of the gig, and they just kept fumbling a medley of classics. Not to mention those suspicious crowds singing along audio cues that sounded as believable as a Seinfeld laugh track. Number 6, New Kids on the Block. While boy bands were all the rage in the 1990s, that doesn't mean that they were exactly perfect to perform at a Super Bowl halftime show. When New Kids on the Block hit the Super Bowl stage in 1991, this is where people started to state that they could put on a better show than half of the people who were asked to perform at the halftime show. But don't blame New Kids on the Block, who didn't really get to sing any of their perkier tunes, as they got stuck doing the sappiest hit of their one hit called One for the Children, which got shifted into this Disney kiddie choir. The performance definitely didn't pay off at the time as well as they thought it would, because everything going on in the world at the time, no one really wanted to hear "It's a small world after all." And it's not exactly what you would want to hear when you are right in the middle of a back and forth battle between the Bills and the Giants. Coming number 5, we have Stevie Wonder. In 1999, Stevie rolled out a few tried and true classics in Miami, and he graciously even tried to give local goddess Gloria Estefan a long-deserved do-over shot at a Super Bowl redemption. But he probably would have been better just taking the stage himself. For the finale, Stevie ended up donning a jacket with African down one sleeve and American down another sleeve, which was a strong statement, but then Gloria turned the beat around to give her Miami fans a salsa percussion, and it would prove that there was a reason why the Super Bowl never asked her to come back and redeem herself at a halftime show to begin with. Not to mention there would then be a cameo from the then hot swing revivalist Big Bad Voodoo Daddy that would remind us all and future historians that the 90s was actually a really weird time to be alive. Coming at number 4 today, we have Gloria Estefan. In 1992, the Super Bowl definitely became a winter magic pageant, because this time it was in Minnesota. While the show was filled with giant snowmen and figure skaters from the Olympic team, it also featured Gloria Estefan, because obviously at the time when you thought of the Great White North, you would naturally think of Gloria and her sound machine. But as users clicked in to watch the show, they would only find themselves slowly turning away from the show, as it was a truly cringe-worthy show of people dancing while waving hockey sticks to Queen's "Don't Stop Me Now." All in all, it was just a really weird vibe for the Super Bowl in general, and it became one of those moments that made us all just want to erase the moment from our memories altogether. Plus, who mixes figure skating and football in the first place? Number 3, Shania Twain. Shania Twain's performance in the Super Bowl in 2003 with Sting, and no doubt, definitely didn't impress me much. And it became one of those moments we even forgot Shania Twain actually showed up for, because her performance was just sad and she butchered it. You know, the star was bombing her chance to show the whole world that she was a legend in country music when the camera had to do a close-up of the guitar guy, not focus in on her while she was creating a mess of the show. Eventually, Sting and Gwen Stefani came along to rescue the show, and it took them a while to fix it, but Gwen was such a natural for the role that when she was able to win over the crowd, it would become strange that they never asked her to come back and do it again. However, it's a good thing they made Shania go first, because as she closed out the show, that probably would have been one of the worst halftime shows to ever hit the stage. Well, I mean, it kind of already was. Number 2, Katy Perry. We all expected a lot to come from Katy Perry's halftime show, but I'm pretty sure we can all agree that we didn't really know what we should expect to come from it. One thing is for certain, after it was all over, we all didn't really know how to comprehend what exactly all went down and what we just witnessed. As Katy's show was loud, weird, and specifically tailored to the internet's tendency to latch on to viral moments and turn them into memes, that's exactly what her performance became. It was one giant meme as she performed on a lion statue wearing this really weird flame outfit, but in terms of the actual musical performances, Katy's performance was meh, and the real star of the night actually became Missy Elliott, who strutted out in a surprise appearance and blew the crowd away. She didn't just even steal the spotlight, she commandeered it. And coming in number 1 today, we have Shakira. After Shakira teamed up with J-Lo to do the halftime show in 2020, the FCC would receive over 1,000 complaints from viewers who had something to say about their performance, as the singers felt like it was appropriate to dance on poles, twerk, and belly dance and make suggestive gestures, with most of the complaints coming from parents who felt like their children were exposed to X-rated content. Other adults thought that their show encouraged people to work in the wrong careers, and some people were just generally upset that there was no public warnings given before the show about how suggestive their performances would be. One viewer would even point out that the pair's show was less of a musical act and it turned more into an X-rated performance. While the general performance was amazing musically, I can see why people were so upset over the matter, as when Janet Jackson did a similar performance, she would find herself being shunned, while these two ladies found themselves being praised for their risky behavior. Well, that's all for this video today, my little peaches. Until the next one, remember to stay juicy.